Hello, welcome back. It's been a short break, giving you enough time to cool down off that very exciting matchup, but I'm joined once again by Hugo, and we're going to be jumping into map 2. Obviously, this time around it's Overpass, a little bit different from Inferno, and obviously actually quite a scary one going into it.
Yeah, definitely so. We looked at this series and we went, okay, it's very hard to predict, but we're going to go with G2. We both agreed that this would be a 2-0. Very surprising in the first map. We actually saw HellRaisers take it 19-15, flawless OT for them. And now going into this one, it's looking more and more likely that we're going to see a 2-0, this time the other way around in favour of HellRaisers, because we look at Overpass and we go, shaky map for G2, currently 1-3 on it right now, not good performance at all, whereas again, HellRaisers haven't really played it that much. They're currently 1-1 on the map, a win against Tricked, I think, and a loss against Spirit. So really, it's hard to throw up, but just off of the performance in the previous map and the fact that this is a map that G2 don't like to play, I think HellRaisers do have a really good chance to actually sweep this one away and take a 2-0.
It's true, and everyone was kind of popping off towards the end of there for HellRaisers as well. Zero, someone you really need to, kind of like the glue of the team. He was playing very consistent towards the end of that, good defense towards Banana, and looked on point in terms of individual skill. And Dead Fox as well was getting away with some stuff that was absolutely filthy, things that he should not be allowed to be picking up round after round. So it's obviously quite scary, as they need that individual edge coming into it, because even though they do have the team edge, and they are a better team in terms of just how long they've been together and how much their playbook has, you have to always look at it in terms of how much potential there is for huge impact frags to come out of nowhere for G2. But it only really happened towards the end of the game for G2, and at the very end, they fell flat. Yeah,
especially with the AWPing on Kenny S, at least in the first half on the CT side. He was very inconsistent, missing quite a few crucial shots that he probably should have hit. It was Shox, the one over on the B side with the AWP, who was doing a lot of high impact damage, shutting down pushes occasionally, getting a lot of 3Ks. So looking at this map, we've got to see Kenny step up. We've got to see him really pick up that AWP and do some damage with it if we want to see G2 take away this map. On the other hand, though, looking at Dead Fox, we didn't see as much AWP play from him on either side. He didn't even touch it once on the T side and only picked up 2 or 3 times on the CT side. So now going into this one, Overpass, a map that's more based around AWPs, especially on that CT side. Hopefully we'll be seeing him pick that up a little bit more, going for those aggressive peaks that you constantly see down towards Party to pick off a player in towards that playground, something like that. But yeah, if he doesn't pick it up, we could be seeing G2 exploit that, especially with the fact that they do like to pick up the double AWP, something that HellRaisers is not known to do.
It's true, and that setup, that sort of fluidity in the team, allowing them to go for that double AWP setup so easily, and we saw how well Shox was performing with it as well, is a scary factor on a map like Overpass. If they come in hard and fast on that CT side, there's so much potential for them to go to those very aggressive peaks towards that B bomb site. Even if they want to take that long control, first of all, they're going to get that opening contact into the round. They're going to do so much damage, and potentially, if they start to go back to the vintage sort of potential we've seen them bring to the table, because sure, Kenny was going for those peaks, but was not landing the shots. If he goes back to his normal sort of self and is able to land those opening kills, I wouldn't be surprised if we're seeing them get those consistent openers nigh on essentially every round.
Yeah, very much so. I think we've really got to kind of, instead of predicting how this one goes, more look at how these players are popping off individually, because if Kenny goes big, then that's a map, right? This is G2. This is a team that if these players go huge, it's a win. It doesn't matter who they're up against. It doesn't matter what map they're on. Yeah, exactly. Kenny's performance, maps that G2 win, it is so basic on that. So yeah, depending on whether Kenny can utilize that AWP, whether we see the double AWP on the CT side, it's going to be so important for that. And the fact that G2 are starting on CT as well, good chance for them to at least bring in the double AWP very early on.
It's true. That's where we're going to see them excel, but we're going to have to wait and see, obviously, how the pistol rounds will kick off. I mean, the thing is, G2, usually they are so dominant when it comes to these pistol rounds. They have so many players that are just effective when it comes to that close range skill, Kenny S being one of them as well. So we're going to see if that will come into effect here, or if HellRaisers will be able to revolt and pick up this opening round. Aggression early towards that B bomb site, though.
Yeah, going to be all these players funneling in there through the monster. Only one player, MBK, he gets overrun with Glocks. The train is going to be spamming him away. Body Molotov out as well towards short. He can't even pick up a kill for refrag. So great stuff from HellRaisers to throw down that Molotov and now have control of the site. Steeko follows up. He will get dropped by Apex, but a 1-for-1 with a man advantage. Going to be great for HellRaisers as the bomb goes down. G2 left on the retake, and they have picked up a kit, but they have a strong task ahead of them.
Yep, trying to ward this off. Dead Fox will get the frag as well, though, taking down Body, leaving just 2 men to try and retake this site. Apex just jumping straight on the bomb to try and cause a bit of a confusion as the push comes back through. Zero doing work once again, and Bondig with another frag upon Shox. They drop them. HellRaisers getting that opening pistol round with such prowess will really give them the confidence they need.
That was really good. The setup from HellRaisers I like, right? Because they storm out through Monster and they get that Molotov on short. And typically, if you go for a full Monster storm, you're going to see G2 take that short control. As a result, they hear the footsteps come out. They maybe lose a player towards long, and they push deep into water to at least have that connected control for the retake, because you don't want to lose the players all on the site and then be left in a 2-3 man disadvantage. So because G2 tried to push towards short, HellRaisers reactively throw that Molotov and stop them from backing off, therefore giving them not only the picks but also the site under control and no retake position from G2. So really, really good stuff from the T side. I love that pistol round and a nice opener. Now again, going into the same buy we saw in Inferno, we're going to see 1 MP7 on Bondic, 4 UMPs, and G2 forcing up, but to no avail.
Yep. Just, you know, imagine they're going to rip their way through everyone in front of them. Actually, the pistol starts to reign fairly supreme, though. This is good so far. So many casualties have come out on the side of HellRaisers. G2 will be very happy with this round so far. Shock still alive as well. Has upgraded to the MP7, but the Deagle would be his weapon of choice as he butchers Zero down. A spectacular headshot comes through and is allowed to reposition as well. He is looking so crisp right now as frag after frag throughout the first map and into the second map as well. He's been displaying how he is that prolific fragger, but is he aware that he's being followed? He's being hunted by Dead Fox. He's fast on his tail as he slowly approaches, upgrading now to a UMP of his own as Shox tries to get out of there, thinking that possibly there's been some trickery and the A bomb site has been taken. But it's all been a bit of an elaborate goof. Dead Fox will be able to get that bomb back down as well over towards B. Shox, it will take him a little while to work out what exactly has gone on, but now re-arriving on the scene, trying to find the frag, takes the fight, and actually takes him down as well. A hat-trick comes out with the Deagle. Shox will eliminate Dead Fox, and a defuse comes in as well. An instant reset off the back of a spectacular pistol round from HellRaisers.
A great individual performance from Shox, but you got to look at that round. You got to look at Dead Fox. He didn't even know what was going on. Both of those players confused. When Shox rotated back up through A, Dead Fox wouldn't expect it, and who would? Because he completely misread that situation. So unfortunate for HellRaisers, but that is one of the risks when you go into the buy that we just saw. The 5 SMGs, quad UMP and an MP7. While it is great at, you know, stacking up some cash early on, you need an AK, you need a couple of rifles just to play with, so you can at least take those long-range battles and cleanly take down those pistols. But either way, we're going to be seeing G2 get away with it, and now they've got the better buy on their hands. But HellRaisers are still going to be forcing things up. We have a triple AK in play. Bondic doesn't even have armor as a result of dropping that rifle over, but he has a Deagle alongside Dead Fox here. But G2, double UMP, triple M4. It's anyone's game.
True, there might be an arsenal on either side, but it's always a bit of a sticky one going into this round. You never know how it really is going to go. Those Deagles over on Dead Fox and Bondic as well, I mean, you don't even really want to count them out. They still can be very effective with the weapons if they can be put in the right scenarios and find the angles to actually get those opening frags. Slow stuff, though, as they just try and spread out a little bit, testing the waters as they tiptoe around, attempting to take that map control up towards toilets, repositioning as well as they scurry to grab the bomb and start to link up, going to this elevated angle as well. A lot of utility still to play with, though. Those free smokes and a couple of flashbangs, they definitely can try and create themselves a little bit of an easier time of assaulting the A-bomb site. They do start to smoke things off. Flashbangs rain in as well as they slowly take this aggression, but the CT rotate does arrive on the scene, and it's going to be scary. Surely they should be able to ward off this push, holding their angles right now as everyone starts to bang on the door, get themselves ready to try and explode into the site. But the first frag actually goes the way of HellRaisers. Zero connecting the shot upon Shox is going to be a fantastic way to kick the round off for Apex with the instant trade back, assassinating Angel. There's Dead Fox, though, as he damn right utilizes that Deagle to do some damage against Apex, beating him to a pulp as Kenny S as well, attempting to respond, playing around the smoke, knows there's two players, trying to retreat up towards Long, will rattle down into their backs, find a frag upon Bondic, but things are awkward right now. Left in a 3 versus 3 as they start to approach from all angles. Kenny S still doing damage upon Dead Fox. Zero, one of his own as well, leaves them in a 2 versus 2, but that toilet control is still in play.
Yeah, they have to get aggressive here. No kit. One of them has to stick the bomb where they need to take these kills now. Kenny will grab another. MBK pushing up, but Stiko stops the defusal. And MBK, he's hunting, but look at this position from Stiko. He's run all the way back, and MBK, he has to switch out his weapons. Grabs an AK to play with, but there's simply no time left. He's got to either go for the kill or get out and save this rifle. The bomb's going to be going off nonetheless, and Stiko, he just removes the head of MBK. Takes HellRaisers that second round. Very important as well, and while it does go down to 1 man, that was a force buy. G2 should have been able to pick up that with the weaponry that they had, so HellRaisers can have enough to buy up here, and I wouldn't be surprised if G2 forced just off the back of getting 4 kills in that previous round. They know HellRaisers is going to have a fairly weak buy into this one in comparison to what they could have, but no, not a full investment from G2, but majority buy. They're going to be getting some pistols, some armor in as well, and HellRaisers actually get a fairly decent one, 3 rifles and 2 UMPs.
Once again, attempting to gain that map control. Meanwhile, G2, very heavy stack towards toilets. They could catch them off guard if they approach their way through Long. Obviously stacked over just by Playground right now. And then Angel working his way through the tunnels. As they just hold strong, no reason to try and go overly aggressive. They do take this fight towards Long. They have a lot of utility left to play with as well to try and keep the fight from a distance. It just depends if they run here a little bit too headstrong, get caught off guard. That's when these pistols are going to be so effective. Depending on the timing of the peak, they could be overwhelmed. The peak actually does come through. There's the opener from Body, but Dead Fox from the range distance has been able to rip his way through everyone that tried to overwhelm his teammate. Styko getting one as well. Kenny S and Shox, the only two men left standing as they just have these measly pistols, still trying to take the fight. They peek through Kenny with a huge tag upon Styko, but can't actually trade him out.
Running right back, trying to hold on to these guns, and there's no need to overextend and lose your players to a double stack when you know you can get a free bomb plant over towards the B site. They will be doing exactly that. As you can see, it's going to be making its way in the hands of Deadfox back in towards B. They will be able to clear this out slowly but surely. Just check that G2 haven't fully rotated any of their players down towards, and Shox is going to be just on the road to doing that. So he makes his way down in through the CT spawn. Kenny S holding onto his gun just outside of toilets, and he should probably just be full on saving while Shox looks for his own exit or tries to grab a gun to get away with here. But Zero is going to be on the other edge of the wall, takes him down. There's Shox removed from the equation. With Kenny S with 14 HP, he won't be going for anything. He's just got to hold onto the gun. So 45 seconds now HellRaisers have to chase down this last player. And Angel, he's just on the other side. If he can go out and check this long position, Kenny S, he's going to hit the first step, turns around, that's great. Takes the headshot off of Angel. And HellRaisers, they know where he is, but they're too far away to stop him.
Yeah, just don't have the time to play with, unfortunately, to try and capitalize and get another AK out of the hands of G2. As they just want to try and wean out whatever they can, really keep them in an awkward situation, force them to spend as much money as possible going into the following round. But it seems like the silver lining has been able to creep its way through, and he has been able to hold on to that weapon.
Now they're going to start to build up their economy, especially keeping 3 players alive as well. As G2 going to have to base this entire round basically around Kenny S. He has the money to go for the AWP in the next round, so won't be investing in anything alongside that AK as such as utility. We'll see a couple of flashbangs build up from the CT side and some pistols, but no armor to support, so basically a done deal already. HellRaisers just looking to bring the hurt down onto the French side. As we can see, a very stacked setup over towards the B site. 1 player in connector just to bait out maybe a B push if they can get the pick onto him, because if he goes down, they're likely going to hit him towards B, thinking that's one of the defenders. Obviously, at the moment, they're not going to be committing with anything, but the bomb makes its way back up towards EA site. So HellRaisers not going to be falling for this trap, and some aggression from the CT side will be caught as well. Zero drops Body. 3 players remain now for the CT side, and so far it's falling apart.
It really has all started to crumble, really, as they've been able to blow the doors off and take the frags by storm so far. The aggression being situated towards that B bomb site, though, seeming like the call has been made to try and take the fight there. MBK trying to get some information as he plays close by. Monster nearly gets the opening kill, but it really was not meant to be. Zero as well, backstab upon Apex, leaving just Kenny S, the man that had the Kalashnikov, the one that was supposed to go huge into the round to try and do something, as the buy will be coming through anyway. Playing on a bit of an awkward angle, hoping they wouldn't catch him out, but unfortunately they have caught scent of him. Found the frag as well. Bond will be the one to put him down. Only 1 rebuy has to come out for HellRaisers. So that is so unfortunate for G2. But the buy will finally come in. Kenny S once again donning the AWP, the weapon that he is the prolific fragger with. Hopefully we can see some vintage Kenny S coming out rather than the lackluster plays we saw on Inferno.
Yeah, only 1 AWP in play for the time being, but that's mainly just due to economical restraints, and also really no need in bringing up the second AWP so early on. HellRaisers still going to be sticking with their rifles for the time being, and Kenny, here's the aggression. Nice shot. Actually, no, not going to connect. I thought he just got the flick onto it, but Shox instead doing the damage over towards Long. He's pushed up. Finally, Kenny will connect as he takes down Bondic, and Shox maybe doesn't need to overextend it. He gets spotted by 2 players here back towards the edge of the playground. 3 players now remain for HellRaisers with no refrag in sight, and G2, they've already run away. Kenny's retreated back towards the A site, and they are just playing passive now. They have no need to get aggressive, although Body, he knows that these players are mainly over towards A, so he's actually going to reactively push up on towards B. That's good, because it clears out a lot of information, allows G2 to be aware of the imminent A push coming in, but still with the positions over towards short, they can actually rotate down through connector and take B control, with Body being none the wiser. But MBK, he is still holding on to that position.
This is the thing, he has the drop on him, could be the potential backstab. Does great work. I'm actually getting the opening frag upon Angel, hungry for more as well as he taps down, but Dead Fox so close to being killed somehow. Pulls out the confidence to get that frag. Left now in a 1 versus 4 though. Surely HellRaisers will be punished into this round as he peeks back up. Apex has the angle covered, should take the fight and find the frag. Will do so, eliminates him, upgrades to the AK as well as he comes through with a nice bit of damage dealt into the round. HellRaisers at this point still have cash to play with, still have confidence as well. They just need to rally themselves together and try and come back into this, as they could potentially reset G2 still.
This is similar to what we saw in Inferno in the sense of HellRaisers working off for that pistol round, getting those 3, but somehow not being able to pick up a lot of these buys. This has got to be one they finally take, as Deadfox has pulled up the AWP in play. here on the T side, and G2 still only a solo AWP, but it's going to be enough to get that job done, as we have seen in the previous round. Angel just spotting in towards connector, passive play so far as DevFox holds on for the aggressive peak, but Kenny's repositioned back towards B, and I like it. He's switching things up, spots the legs as well. They both tag each other, but Zero actually going to get the drop off. Kenny not able to escape as the tags keep him centered in place, and Zero just going to back off as he gets tagged up very early on, but still a good pick. And not only is it a good pick, it's also the pick onto the AWP, which is huge for HellRaisers.
Unfortunately, as that could have been an absolutely massive frag, but this time around, it really sets HellRaisers up for what potentially could be a great way to slip their way back into it. Zero is low, of course, but if he stays alive, he's in a good situation to try and lock this down. MBK isn't an angle to actually try and counter him. He would have to clear that angle. MBK should find the frag as soon as he actually peeks around with an easy spam. Walks his way in. Easy opening kill, though. Does give the game away as there was another player close by with the bomb. That's going to be DevFox. No reason to peek in now. We'll wait for his teammates to try and help him out. As the fight comes around, bonding. Easy headshot goes through, but he's burnt to a crisp. Cremated, unfortunately. Styko as well going to claim one over towards Apex, leaving them in a 3 versus 2 as they do try and link up and make their approach towards that A bomb site. Shocks will be on the fast rotate. Body now following suit. Can they actually hold this back? Flashbang goes in to try and allow him to achieve anything as he slips his way onto the scene, playing behind the truck. Angel will be there trying to ward him off. A little bit of an awkward confrontation comes out as Angel needs to single-handedly try and take control of the bomb site, but Shocks beating him down, hungry for more as well. Nearly gets the follow-up frag upon Styko, but it was not meant to be. Body arrives on the scene, hoping to cause a bit of a stir. 8 seconds left to play with. He knows the bomb has to go down right now with a sick headshot upon Styko. Hungry for one more as well. DevFox peeks out, but unfortunately connects the rail. Takes him down with that AWP, and they get another round on the board.
Great stuff from DevFox to close that one out. We were talking about how the AWP needed to be pulled up for HellRaisers going into this map, and we weren't sure if DevFox really had the confidence after not really showing it too much in Inferno, but he makes it work. 5-2 now. G2, their own money going to be crushed down now as they can't really fully invest. We have Shocks with a bit of cash. He could either pick up the AWP or drop it over to Kenny later on, but he's actually going to invest in a Deagle and some armor as the rest of G2 really go bare bones on this one. Some light pistols, and that is going to be it. HellRaisers looking confident, and they know what they're going to be up against as well, considering they bought up a double UMP, trying to farm some cash against these armorless players, but the UMP is not even coming into play. It's the AKs to get the opening headshots as MBK and Shocks are going to be found early on. The one armored player for the team of G2. And 3 remain now. HellRaisers already going to be forced up, looking likely to hit in towards this B site, but the bomb is still playing in a passive position. They're waiting for G2 to get aggressive, because it's very common on these anti-eco rounds that if you get yourself a couple of picks on the T side, that the CTs reactively try and push up and not only grab rifles off of solo players, but also try and gain back map control in retaliation to losing early picks. So that's exactly what G2 are going to do in terms of connector control. They have 2 players, they look like they want to push up, and Apex, just as he starts to go for the peak, gets naded.
Force back, tag comes through. Zero will be able to execute him very easily there. Body and Kenny S, the only 2 men left standing. They're not in a great situation, especially as his teammate goes down so swiftly. Zero with another frag with that UMP. Gets a huge cash injection. And the kill upon Kenny S, selling the round away. Now has been closed out. The buys do come back in, though. Have a look what they're actually going to work with. Kenny back upon the AWP. He needs to do something else, though. They really need to pull something out of the bag here as HellRaisers have been looking on point. The double AWP setup actually finally comes into play. Yeah,
you could see Shocks was taking some time to buy up there, maybe asking if that was a good idea, and I think it may be, as we saw it do very, very well over on Inferno on their CT side. Let's see if they can pick it up here over on Overpass. Shocks posted up towards the toilets area. Kenny, meanwhile, on the other side of the map, and they are just going to be holding on for the time being. Both Shocks and Kenny actually on the A side, sorry, and Kenny, this is a good position. They are going to be holding it though, but he's going to go for the peak. However, DevFox actually gets a drop onto him. First kill going to go the way of HellRaisers. They won't expect a second AWP there, but Body gets dropped over towards B. That may force a rotation as Shocks, he is alone towards A. Apex finally going to come in from the CT spawn here to support towards the site. And Shocks, despite his teammate going down long, he's still very pushed up. They could easily catch him out through the connector, but he's really playing balls to the wall, pushed up towards short. Apex is just waiting on the site for this initial push, and it will be coming through with these players filtering out long, and Shocks, he needs to find this pick. He needs to take back the man advantage, and he does. Apex helps out as well, retrieves another kill, but DevFox going to drop him, and Shocks rotating back on in. He's got to take the risk that no one's pushing him from behind. It will be correct, but he knows where DevFox is, can spot the power of the rifle and the bomb. It's finally going to go down for HellRaisers here in a man advantage situation.
A good spot to be in for HellRaisers. They have these afterplants utilised and they're being able to roam as well. Potential backstab could be coming in from Zero into the late round. MBK makes his approach with the site, trying to play with his teammate. Shocks focusing towards back. And there's the first kill. DevFox with the opener. Shocks with the fireback though. The no-scope comes through, but he has to react fast now. No kit to play with and still 2 angles to watch as the peaks come in. Styko with a sick headshot will slay And another round going the way of HellRaisers, still showing no signs of slowing down. Small moments where they look like they might stumble, but they haven't fallen just yet.
We can't call this a GG anytime yet, though. We saw this on the first map, a dominant start from HellRaisers on the T side, which just filtered down to G2, ending it with an 8-7. So still good potential, but this will be a guaranteed, almost guaranteed 8th round here for HellRaisers, as G2 really don't have much to invest in. A Deagle, a P250 and a CZ to their name. It's going to be a very, very low buy, and HellRaisers equipped to deal with this one. Full rifles, the AWP still in the hands of Deadfox and Shox. He's pushed up a little bit in connector, trying to look for the opening pick. But Angel not going to be feeding into that one. It's Kenny jump spotting just towards lower, and he actually overextends, tagged up by Angel. Still makes it out of there alive, and a worthy trade considering he only had a pistol. Did a bit of damage onto the retrieving side of HellRaisers. Right now we see the T just playing this one slow, and that is the best way to play it up against an eco. They've been doing very well in the anti-eco so far, and it's looking like it's going to continue with the opening kill going on to Shox.
Oh, Angel as well, another frag. Follow up upon Kenny S this time around. Really leaves them in such a sticky situation, and it's gone quite far south already. And there's not really much chance they can actually do really even any economical damage. They're trying to reposition. Bondic is going to spot them out though, hearing them and now seeing Shox as well as he just keeps spamming away through the mesh, finding an easy frag upon MBK. Trying to get an extra one. Follow up on towards Body's potential, but Body actually has the drop on him somehow, struggling. Seems they're blissfully unaware of his position as they just chuck a Molotov into him. He gets another frag. Somehow Body's able to get away with that. That is just sloppy from HellRaisers, but nevertheless, they close the round out. Another one going into their back pocket. 2 rebuys have been forced out though, and G2, they are stuck right now. No idea how to fix this one. So the call for a pause has been made to try and get some ideas behind them, some sort of ingenuity as they need to switch things up soon.
Yeah, Body has 6k, so he could drop over an AWP, but aside from maybe a glass cannon on the side, only either Kenny or Shox, I don't see a double up coming in play. Most definitely a single AWP, I think, but Body, that means his utility is going to be extremely limited, which is a bit of an unfortunate factor, but still, very, very dominant so far from HellRaisers. Again, as I mentioned last round, we can see G2 bring this back. We saw the exact same thing on Inferno, so I wouldn't, count them out just yet, but this is so far on Overpass looking very good for the CIS side.
It's true. They're being able to tear their way through. It's a great opening scoreline, even in the rounds where they have been actually punished, and sure, they get one round on the board. HellRaisers have been able to reset that fairly instantaneously, straight away. Obviously, the G2 pause has come in. They're going to try and break things down. They'll work their way through and try and work out what can we even do? What answers do we have here? As right now our CT side has been lacking. Yeah,
definitely. So I feel like the AWP is going to be, again, the factor that really brings it back here, because we've been seeing Deadfox do very well as well with his own AWP, finally picking it up, and he's currently 10-4 right now, second on the scoreboard for the HellRaiser side. So actually doing very well in that regard, but still we need to see Kenny S on that. And I think even though Kenny is the prolific AWPer that we talk about, maybe give it to Shox. Shox has been doing very, very well, not only on this map leading the scoreboard for the team, but also in the previous one. So I think maybe if he's got a good spawn, try and give it to him, play off him for a little bit. And while obviously Kenny won't wanting to be throwing over the AWP to Shox, I feel like if he's on fire, that's probably the play you should be giving it to, surely.
Yeah, we've seen some good stuff coming out from Shox, obviously. Kenny, he's been able to get a couple of shots here and there, but not performing as much as we want him to. He has had a couple of impact frags tied to him, but it's just he needs to try and do a little bit more right now, as the rest of his teammates aren't really stepping up around him, and he kind of is the one to really rally the squad and get everyone back together. So let's wait and see if that is going to be the case. The AWP does come out over for Kenny once again. Deadfox will also have one of his own. We know how aggressive these two players can be, but will we see some confidence coming out, some kind of difference in the playmaking of G2 that really could catch them off guard?
Interesting though, Kenny's gone for the buy of the AWP and not getting it dropped over for Body, meaning that he's actually on a glass cannon, which is risky. But obviously it means Body can actually buy up the kit and the utility, which does make sense considering he has the only kit for the team. And look at this fast play out towards Monster. It's MBK to delay the first. That's a good start here for the G2 side, but he needs to double down. He doesn't have time for a reload, and he gets caught out in the open by Deadfox. Nice opening kills, and look at this from Angel, just splitting up through short. He'll catch the rotation through the connector, and Shox does trade, but it's still a man advantage for HellRaisers. They have control of the site. The bomb plant should be coming in unless Kenny goes absolutely massive, which is definitely possible. HellRaisers, they're in a great position.
Just Kenny left now. A 1 versus 3 situation. Potential for him to try and do something. We'll get the opening frag upon Psycho. Hungry for more as well as he takes a couple of pot shots. Aggression. Look at the movement as he glides his way through the air. Unfortunately, a round straight from the chamber of Deadfox's pistol will rip its way through his cranium and leave him dead in the dirt. Now G2. They went for the pause. They went for something a bit more aggressive. They were hoping that it would be where they would get their return to form. A moment of bliss to try and get something on the board, but Doesn't work out like that. The buy has to come back in now as well. 3 Famouses in play. 1 UMP over on MBK and an M4 on Shox. It is a lackluster buy, to say the least.
Yeah, I don't. It's such a risky one. I don't think you can really... I don't like it, but I understand it. That's the thing. G2 going for this, because again, if they keep ecoing and keep quasiing, HellRaisers are only going to extend their round lead. And G2 finally need to come back, get in the face, and, you know, cause some stir here, because right now HellRaisers are just in the driving seat for this entire map. Looking like a 10-2 though, but let's see if G2 can at least surprise us. They've got a triple stack over towards long. Very pushed up here. We have Shox holding back a little more passive with the other 2 pushed up, but Bondic knows what's up. He's going to be holding for the aggression, and as soon as he drops down, they start to actually go for a bit of a peek. I think Apex just spotted there, but nothing was there. And Nastico is going to be rounding his way around the corner. Flashbang will be hopefully allowing him to go for this peek, but Shox holding back for the contact play. There we go, spots him, very tagged up. Nice clean peek from HellRaisers, and they will take down Angel, will take down Apex as well, as Stico follows up, and one by one, look at G2, they are falling apart here. Kenny S is the last player standing over towards the A site as he starts his rotation in, but HellRaisers, they've dismantled the French side.
It's like a small child tearing the arms off a Stretch Armstrong, Hugo. It's dangerous to watch. It's not fun. Kenny S, the last man left standing as well, but not for long, as the final snip will come through. All the beads pour out of him, and he is executed there by Bondic. Obviously the cash as well. Still not fantastic for G2. And that was such a shame. They had no way to trade there. Sure, they were playing in angles where it would have been possible, but it just looked like communication was off. The kills come through very easily. HellRaisers was able to take those fights, dispatch whoever they wanted, and no, there was no chance there was even going to be potential for a trade fact to come back in. G2 just looked like they were lost.
Yeah, and again, they continue to look lost. The thing is, they are forcing up all these rounds, and we did see that have previous success on Inferno, but I don't think at this kind of scoreline, with this confidence of how HellRaisers is going to work. However, with these kind of YOLO scorelines, you do see a lot of aggression. Look at Shox, he's going to be doing exactly that as he starts to push up. Spots Bondic, but HellRaisers, they're still playing it so calculated. They're just going to back off. No need for him to get picked. And meanwhile, while G2 have taken this control of the courtyard, we have a lot of HellRaisers players ready to push on back in. DevFox has found himself some control, and he's got the AWP in play as well, but Shox just going to go amiss. He stays alive, and Kenny S is on the flank as its deep smoke goes down. He's going to spam away, takes down DevFox, but he's being hunted from behind. AWP in play, but he's not going to be able to connect. Angel takes him, but look at these kills are actually going the way of G2. Apex goes big with a CZ75, grabs an AK to play with now, and HellRaisers will reactively run into the B site, but there's still some players over there to hold him down.
Zero relies on him to try and get that opening frag upon body. A measly Famous in his arms as he wants to try and ward them off, playing around the smoke, hoping they're not going to spot him out. The push comes through, but Stico with a simple headshot will execute now as they have complete control of that bomb site. The CTs will attempt to retake. They don't really have much utility left to play with. It's one flash left over on Shox that has been used to try and allow them to get a breath of fresh air, get some kind of play in towards the bomb site. Zero as well, playing by Water with a fantastic headshot, will dispatch MBK, leaving just 2 men left standing to try and claw this one back from what potentially could be HellRaisers picking it up. They have time to get the bomb planted, as it will start to go down. Apex pushes his way through the smoke, gets the opening frag somehow. The trade doesn't come back in straight away, but Zero will find it in the end. 15 seconds left to play with, and he sort of has to commit to get the bomb down very soon. Shox is an elevated angle as well as he arrives, just holding it. Zero tries to take the fight, but he does actually pick it up as well. Peeks out, rattles down with a Kalashnikov. A flurry of bullets ram their way into the opponent. Shox goes down, and another pause comes out.
4v2 brought back from HellRaisers. Great stuff to actually get themselves that round, and G2 pausing. It's 11-2. Could it be too late? They have a bit of money to go for the buy here, but we're into the second last round of the half.
It's true. It's kind of getting to that point where it's awkward at this point. It will actually be a tech pause that's coming through. Some tech issues that have actually been plaguing them, it seems, today, that obviously could slow down their momentum. The only good thing is HellRaisers right now are the ones that have really rallied up, so it will take a bit of, it will take a bit of fuel out of them, so they won't be as hot-headed, potentially. It's always a scary factor, though, coming into it. What can they really adapt at this point? As it seems like they are trying, even with the aggression change there. They tried it, but just in a 1v1 clutch scenario, it seems like HellRaisers right now, they're just looking better.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, sometimes you're just up against opponents that are hitting their shots and you really can't connect anything. But, I mean, maybe continue with this aggression, right? We saw it early on in the previous round. They got that 4v2 straight away. Unfortunately, they lost it. But there was a lot of solo plays in retaliation to try and get back in the site, which was the cause of why they lost the round eventually. But, yeah, these early aggressive rounds, bringing the AWP on Kenny. I can see he's got it again. We've got a full rifle buy aside from a couple of Famouses. And if G2 just, again, go for those pushes, try and get the early man advantage, and hopefully this time don't throw it away, potentially they can definitely, close this one out.
Definitely potential for them to try and slip their way back in, but we're going to have to wait and see if that is going to be the case. HellRaisers this time around very aggressive towards long. They're just trying to assert their dominance into the early round. Kenny S, though, with the AWP, spots someone out. It's going to be Angel that is testing the waters as he edges his way through, and Kenny will not be missing it this time around. Beats him down with a sick opening shot, allowing them to finally get the man advantage into the early round. So many times now, HellRaisers have found the opening frag, and G2 have just taken way too long to try and respond, pushing up towards the A-bomb site as well. They have an abundance of utility, and they're going to try and wolf pack it up, overwhelm them, use all of that aggression stacked together to just overpower the defense towards the A-bomb site. They slip their way out, but they haven't cleared the angle. Apex has the drop on them as he comes in with an opening kill, and another as he takes them down. Kenny S, meanwhile, is firing shots off all over the place, ripping off the other people that want to try and peek into him. Dead Fox, with the last man left standing, tries to take the shots on, forcing Kenny S to give away his position, but the nade rolls in from MBK, blows him out the server like a little mortar strike popping off, and G2 pick up a round that looked like it was going to be stolen by HellRaisers.
Classic mistake there from HellRaisers to not check the corner, and that is going to be so unfortunate, allowing Apex to go massive and pick up a couple of kills there. So great stuff there from the G2 side. Obviously, there's only a little bit more time for them to get some breathing room into the second half. They have a fourth round to gain if they can, and if not, HellRaisers very likely going to be taking on 12 here as we see another pause called out. And obviously, G2 now have the money. They can now go for the buy once again. They will have a good buy. They will have the Kenny S AWP in play that we have seen do very well. Issue is, it's still, at best case scenario, an 11-4 T-side half for HellRaisers. That is so dominant.
It's true. They're coming in, they're looking crisp. You know, this is the only round really where G2 sort of showed some moments of initiative as well in terms of their positioning. Even their positioning seemed off in a few of these previous rounds. Kenny back on point as well was actually able to get quite a few shots into that round off that he needs to connect. He's had moments where he's landing shots, but it's never really been as consistent as we wanted to see from him. Usually you expect a whole lot more, and it just seems like everyone needs to gel together, return to what we sort of expect to see going into this, and HellRaisers, they're looking like they're starting to crack a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. But I still feel like this is so dominant. If HellRaisers can even if they lose this pistol, lose this last round, right, and it goes 11-4, and they pick up the pistol, that's so close, right? Because assuming they close out the anti-ecos and they're on 11 or 12, that'll be 14 or 15 rounds they'll have. And a comeback is hard even when it's a close one. Imagine, you know, a 10-round comeback for G2. That just seems almost impossible at this point. We saw a bit of a comeback on Inferno, but that was only 5 rounds. And HellRaisers, to be honest, they played those last 5 rounds very sloppily. We saw no change in positioning on the CT side, and them moving over to the favoured side as well on Overpass. I think it's almost impossible that G2 can bring this back unless they pick up that pistol round. Yeah,
they need to try and come in there. Obviously, as well, we sort of had their, you know, our bets sort of favoured slightly towards them in the opening pistol round, as usually they are able to just bring such prowess to the table, but HellRaisers just beat them down in a matter of seconds on that one.
Yeah, it was really dominant. It was a lovely pistol round as well, with a long push and the short Molotov to force G2 back on the retake. So yeah, I mean, HellRaisers look like they've done some research on this map. Look like they've done some practice. And G2, again, we said it before, this is a map that they do not like to play, and it's showing even more, right? They're losing to an underdog team, if you can even call HellRaisers that. I mean, judging on the standings you can't, but judging on the individual players and just the roster in general, they're losing to an underdog team on a map that they would never really be expected to win anyway.
Yeah, that's true. So a fairly interesting result as we work our way through. Obviously 3-11 will be the scoreline. Still more to come in this first half, as it's just been a very sort of awkward affair. G2 really have been struggling in terms of what we expect to see from them. And obviously when you touch on that pistol round as well, it's just smarter plays been coming out from HellRaisers. There's been smart utility usage, communication's been a whole lot better, whereas G2 just sort of seems like they've had moments of just really not quite sure on how to play things.
Yeah, I feel like HellRaisers just need to default this one out on the last T-side round. They've got the money to play with, obviously, and the thing is, G2 are going very aggressive, right? We've been seeing a lot of pushing up from the CT side, and that's been what's kind of catching them out, these 2 or 3 rounds that they've actually been able to gain. So now, if HellRaisers just go for a really passive default, we have seen them been doing that, at least with Angel holding onto the connector, Dead Fox playing passive outside of A with the AWP. They just carry on to that, wait maybe 45 seconds into the round, G2 are definitely going to get aggressive, they're going to get antsy, and they're going to look in for frags, so maybe HellRaisers will be able to get some openers if they can get themselves a pick or 2, work out onto the site. I think this should be a done deal, maybe a 12-3 on this half, looking likely, but G2 at least having a bye to contest this last round.
Yeah, they do have money to play with. They have splashed it, you know, as well. The AWP will be once again returning to Kenny S. His fateful weapon, but will he be able to wield it to what we're used to seeing? He's been struggling a little bit throughout the matchup. We need to see more from everyone on the side of G2, really, as the aggression comes out. HellRaisers instantly encroaching, very spread fin, playing for more of a split and pick style default. Hopefully they can try and find some opening frags that allow them to work their way through. Early tag has gone through on towards Styko though, dropped to below 34 HP. Not too fantastic to try and kick the round off, as they now link up and try and take that aggression towards the B bomb site, but there is a stack in play.
Indeed. But HellRaisers all aggressive down towards this connector. Look at the boost. Shox is going to be up. Bond doesn't even check it. He just runs right past, but no one gets a kill. It's just some wallbang damage onto Stico. As you can see, these Ts are going to be bringing the bomb back around in through long. It may look like a bit of a B commitment, and with this rotation from G2, it's going to be read completely wrong. They rotate Shox back up towards the A site, leaving only MBK and his counterpart Kenny S down towards B, I think that is. So not really the best defense for the time being. Actually saw this body. Got a lot to do if HellRaisers finally commit, but at least they're playing passive is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see some aggression from G2 and HellRaisers to at least play passive and try and pick it off, but eventually Apex is going to get a bit antsy, looks for the kill, and Stico gets called on the rotation, wrapping back round towards B. They should know this is a B play now. The rotation should come in, and Bondic and Zero going to open things up as they charge out onto this B site. There's only one player left in defense, and that's going to be Shox, playing close towards short. He lets them run past. Good trigger discipline, waiting for a free kill to come his way, and there it is. Bondic peeks. There's one more. He gets it. Devfox has been dropped, and Angel comes in from behind just to clean up. HellRaisers so close, but economy is not an issue in the last round of the half. It's 12-3, and we'll just throw it to a break before we come back with the second pistol round of this map.
Welcome back, everyone. Obviously, a very exciting first half has just unfolded before our very eyes. Hugo, dominant affair has been coming through. It's scary to see just how on point HellRaisers look right now. You know, you didn't really assume this would be the team that would come in heavy-handed, just beat down everything that G2 brought to the table. They have no answers, and they just cannot seem to slow them down.
Not at all, yeah, and that's a weird thing as well, because G2, we look at them as the supposed French super team. If they're not being able to beat a team that was only one place above relegation from last season, what is going to be happening, right? HellRaisers are still near towards the bottom, and G2 are at the very bottom, and that place is looking like it's going to continue. I don't think they're going to be rising out of that anytime soon. I thought that G2 would at least be on a slow burn, because when Pro League started, that was literally the week that G2 formed this roster. So we saw them have a shaky start, and everyone kind of put it off guard and went, they're a new roster, give them time, they'll learn, they'll improve. But it doesn't seem that that's been the case. While they've had, dominant affairs and good wins, at least in other leagues, coming into this one, they are really not doing very well at all. And I even take back the slow burn thing. I don't know if they're even going to be able to make finals. It doesn't look possible at this point.
It's true. Seems like things have kind of gone too far at this point. The ship has sailed, you'd imagine, as they just don't seem to have an answer for it. At least with Nip, sort of with the addition of Draken, we've seen some sort of moments of ingenuity coming out from them. A little bit of a flash in the pan. Sure, it was up against Kingwin, so it might not be the best result for them. But in terms of things, G2 fighting HellRaisers, you still imagine they would be the favourite team to sort of come out on top just in terms of star potential. But HellRaisers proving that a solid lineup and a good strat book definitely pays out more than that potential star fragging.
Yeah, and a whiff in Kenny S as well. That always adds to the book, right? So HellRaisers is doing very well. But obviously this second pistol round, if G2 can pick it up, we have seen a comeback on Inferno, albeit obviously they lost in OT, but they at least brought it to OT after a bit of a struggle. So coming into this one, very possible G2 could bring it back to some reasonable scoreline, but a win, I'm still going to put my book into HellRaisers because they are just looking on fire today. They're not even requiring Deadfox to step up, and this is a team that never pick up the double up, always very, very consistent on Deadfox, and they're hoping that he is the one to step up, because while he isn't always the mad fragger, when he is, they always win. And he's not even, while he's doing fine, he's not going crazy or anything. He's not stomping. They're all managing to consistently being able to pick it up. Zero, we saw go on fire on the first map. We're seeing a good across the board scoreline from all these players into the second. And frankly, if that continues here, regardless of the pistol round score, I still feel HellRaisers is looking so strong right now.
Well, let's find out if that is going to be the case. Obviously, 12-13 was the scoreline from the prior half as we work our way in now. HellRaisers are going to be your CTs. G2 over on that T side. What can they actually bring to the table? Can they switch things up? Bondic with the early contact takes his way over towards mid. The frag comes out as well as he beats down MBK. There's a follow-up frag as well as Angel claims a 2K. Apex tries to fire back, will claim 2 of his own, but Dead Fox does some more work, leaving just Shoxy left in a 1 versus 3, and he gets beat down straight away. Dead Fox will tame 2 kills into the round. HellRaisers are absolutely unstoppable into these pistol rounds.
Great stuff. 13-3, and maybe even called GG at this point, right? Because G2 lost all confidence from that. It's hard enough with that kind of scoreline, but usually you go back into it like, okay, guys, it's fine. If we win the pistol, we can wrap together some rounds. That's 3 rounds to 3. That's 6 rounds to 12. It's not that bad. But you lose the pistol, your confidence just goes out the window. So just pistols now for this T side. HellRaisers equipped once again in a very SMG-centric buy. This time, for the first time, they've actually picked up the FAMAS over on Angel, and this is just really, really good stuff for them. And let's see if they can continue. As G2, they barrage their way up towards short. It's Bondic playing close. He has the MP7, great at this kind of range, but so are the Tech 9s. He's got to be wary about this one, and MBK going to open things up. Dead Fox is tagged up as well. G2, good potential to take control of this A site.
Oh, the headshot comes through though from Dead Fox, but there's the instant trade back from MBK as he's able to wield their weapon against them. Angel, Zero and Styko, the last 3 men left standing, will try and reposition as they find these opening headshots. Angel taking down MBK there. Kenny S burnt to a crisp as well off the back of Styko. Angel, a follow-up frag upon Apex, just leaving Shox left in a 1 versus 3. Surely he can't achieve anything here as he has his mighty Deagle, his trusty weapon that he's been able to dispatch so many players with in these previous rounds. But this time around, it really isn't going to go his way. 2 seconds left on the defuse. The bomb will go in favor of HellRaisers. Shox just struggling to stay alive at this point now as they push into him. Angel will take him down, and G2 absolutely beaten in that round.
Yeah, just torn limb from limb here, and now it's an awkward situation as well, considering they can't really buy. But do you really want to play a 15-3 comeback? No, you've got to try and force things up. You've got to try and keep this one alive before allowing HellRaisers to get to that match point as well. So an investment coming out from G2 very late, albeit, as we can see some Deagles and some AKs here on the T side. HellRaisers still equipped with a couple of SMGs, but a majority for a FAMAS buy here. They are going to be prepared for this one, but can G2 bring the fire? We know these individual players like Shox, like Kenny, and especially like Apex can step up massively, but this is just going to be a tall task for us to ask for.
That's the opening kill though, going the way of Apex as he tears his way through Bondic. This man can be an artist with the AK when he's able to slay, but he's been struggling in today's games. Finally, he starts to get some momentum back behind him, though. His second kill of the round as he peels the head back from Dead Fox as they make their onslaught upon the A bomb site. Here comes Angel, though, looking dominant right now, the in-game leader of the side, but he's being a star fragger. Shox for the final 2 kills of the round as he connects both of them upon Angel and Zero. G2 bounce back into a round they direly needed.
There's still a long road ahead. HellRaisers, I would not be surprised if they forced up here. However, it seems like they're going to go for a bit of a passive approach, just keeping their money. Not even investing on people like Styko, so that makes me think maybe he's saving for the AWP in play. But actually, no, they do go for a bit of a quasi on 3 of the players, or in fact 4, very, very late into the buy, but Dead Fox is saving for the AWP. The rest of them going to go for a bit of a quasi, but by and large, it's just going to be a dominant buy over on the side of G2. These HellRaisers players going to be stacking up towards A along here, trying to look for an opener. It's over towards B where Styko actually gets the first kill. Shock's going to overextend the player to step up and drag G2 back in the previous round. Has already been removed, but Kenny S does trade as he makes his way out towards B. Only one more player. Styko is going to have to back off, and aggression on all edges as G2 push up towards the A site. It will be still a 3v3, but this T side, they have control of the B site, and as the bomb is picked up as they back off towards the spawn, this should be their round.
Should be, but is that how this one will go? You never know how the cookie's going to crumble as they take that B bomb site now. HellRaisers relinking together as well, trying to scavenge some weapons if possible, but they're struggling to find anything as they just hold their ground, waiting this out firmly. No reason to try and take that aggression through right now. Just keep onto those weapons and they will just lock it down.
And nice to see HellRaisers holding on to these guns, because with that AK as well, they may be able to actually get a bit of an investment into the upcoming round. Lost Bone is far from being built up. They still don't have a little bit of cash to play with. That being said, I feel like unless they have a good amount of cash saved from the previous round, I didn't see their full economy after the buy, they probably should not be buying up into this one, but can at least reposition with that AK there. And no buy coming out. They have a bit of cash, but really not looking doable here. So 2k going to be in the bank after this loss bonus. So some players up to 4 or 5k, but other than that, it's going to be a bit of an eco. Reposition that AK, play around it in the next round. Maybe deadfox can get something done with the 5-7 as well, but by and large, G2 looking to start to bring things back.
They are going to work their way through. Obviously, HellRaisers just going for the save in that round, just trying to keep onto those weapons. They do get through that AK over on Angel, but you've got to wonder if this is really going to affect them too heavily. They tried to buy up lightly around it. Zero going to go for the armor as well. One smoke over on deadfox. Just the HE in the back pocket of Angel, though. It all kind of relies on him to actually do the most of the work with that AK-47. He really needs to pick up a few great frags. If they do try and take this aggression towards the B-bomb site, there is a whole lot of potential. If he can get himself on top of the boost in time, struggling a little bit there, but he will transfer some damage upon MBK as he starts to get this information play over towards the B-bomb side. But Body with a backstab somehow finds his way in towards the back line. Comes in with a great 2k. Zero can fire back with a CZ in close range, but already a huge amount of damage has been done with Shox as well, following it up, taking upon the frag of Zero. MBK another kill upon Bondic. Everything starts to fall apart. It's just deadfox left standing. He has a 5-7, and he will be dispatched by Shox,
who actually took the AWP there instead of Kenny that round. I'm not sure if that was completely off of spawn or if he just wanted to pick it up for a change, because he did very, very well. We did kind of mention that we wanted to see him on the AWP this half, or at least in the previous one as well, and he's at least opened things up. But again, we're going to see the double AWP in play, this time for the T side. A bit more risque, as it's not very common that you see the double AWP over on Overpass, but this is one of the teams that can make it work. I think if anyone could, G2 can, but they're going to still have a long road ahead of them for the comeback. They need 10 rounds in a row to win it, or 9 to go to OT. As you can see, deadfox again on the AWP. A bit of aggression down towards B. Stiko flashing on, and they may just be peeking with this one, but there's Shox on the other side of the tunnel, just with the AWP, although he's posted up towards short for the time being. The smoke is down, and HellRaisers won't be committing to any kind of peeks just yet, but G2 just slowly but surely gaining map control over towards short. We see MBK just trying to make sure this area is clear, not allowing for any kind of boost coming up, any kind of risky business. And Body, again, the assassin, sneaking into the site. He goes. There's a free kill to Zero, but still unable to back off as his teammate blocks him off in the tunnels. It's going to be MBK to retrieve the damage, and Stiko in through the smoke gets 2. Nice reaction from HellRaisers, but still, we've got this double AWP in play, and G2, we know what they're like.
Oh, so awkward now from G2 as they did have the advantage and they've just been punished. Some awkward play coming out from them as they begin to get backhanded one by one, leaving just the double AWPs left standing. The only way they're really going to find these frags is if HellRaisers allow them to get the openers, if they take the fight towards them. They're just playing the slow contact style, just roaming around hoping to find some potential openers, but right now it's all coming up HellRaisers. Nothing is going the way of G2 until Kenny S will find one frag upon Bondic. He took the fight and was able to overwhelm him. deadfox is scoped in though, forced reposition off the back of the flashbang. If he goes back, the angle was covered. Kenny, you'd imagine, will be able to pick up the frag, spots him out. deadfox just going to be holding towards long now as well. Smoke comes in. G2 starting to try and go for this push on towards the A-bomb site. Meanwhile, the bomb is tiptoeing up towards B. As soon as Stako rotates off the site, they will be able to get that bomb planted. And G2 unfortunately losing one of their numbers. Kenny S hitting the deck. Shox arrives towards B. Has the spot out. Stiko though does find him. Couldn't find the frag. 15th round on the board for HellRaisers. G2 struggling to pick up anything. The AWP will come out once more. But even then, it looks like they just can't do anything.
No, it's all over. HellRaisers have done so phenomenally this map, and I don't think it's going to be going anyway in the favour of G2, despite them having a fairly decent buy on their shoulders this time. We have 3 AKs, a UMP, and the AWP back in the hands of Kenny S, where it should belong, but so far this series not proving to be the case, as we've been not seeing him really do so well, especially on Overpass, on Inferno, less so on Overpass, but still kind of expect him to be carrying this, the game for the T side. Faster towards B though. Shox will find the opener. Zero is going to double trade, and we will see actually the man advantage in the way of HellRaisers. Eventually Kenny does come in with a bit of retribution though, as Zero is dropped and a 3v3 in play, with Apex actually being the lurk now for a change, as he forced up towards the A side, drops deadfox. That's the AWP removed for HellRaisers, and they'll have to split their players, one towards A, one towards B, as they know this flank is coming in from Apex. And while the bomb starts to rotate, HellRaisers still don't exactly know what site it is, and with Apex pushing down further, he's hungry for more, takes the head off of Bondic. Angel is now the last man standing, and on the wrong side of the map.
In a very awkward situation into the round, really not where he wants to be. Angel, at this point, just playing around the smoke over by Monster. He might get the drop upon MBK here. Actually, going to be aware of that. Spots out the audio cue, trying to find the frag on him. The thing is, G2, they've worked their way back into this. Even if they don't take down Angel. They've still picked up this round. They've still got themselves in a very great situation. Angel, unlikely he can achieve too much if he wants to try and go for a retake here or even run the risk. Most likely we'll just try and save, hold on to that AK, keep that utility as well into the following round.
7-15. Again, all it's going to take is one mistake from G2 here. If HellRaisers pick up, one spray down, one quick AWP pick, it could turn the tides. And they could be able to just close out this map in style. They already picked up the first one, Inferno, 19-15 in overtime. Having a dominant 4-0 fashion after a good comeback from G2. And now going into this one, they're not even allowing for a comeback, I don't think. G2 are getting a couple of off rounds, but other than that, it's seeming to be a dominant affair for the CT side. Now Angel's going to hold onto the gun at least, not peeking too aggressively. He does take down MBK on the exit, but economy is not going to be too much of an issue for G2 because, again, they keep a couple of players into that previous round and buying up again as HellRaisers are forced down toward eco.
As they work their way in, the buyers coming out. This is the thing, they still have a lot of a buffer to play with though. Obviously, G2 will have the upper hand into this round. They only have about 2k distributed between the players on HellRaisers, but they have that buffer, alright? They've still got about 7 more rounds to play with at this point before things start to get a little bit iffy when they really get towards crunch time, and we'll have to essentially just play out to overtime at that point. So it's workable, it's definitely manageable. They don't have to worry about investing too much cash right now. They can allow a couple of rounds to slip, then come back and try and lock the game up when they're in good form with their economy. It just depends how HellRaisers are going to try and play this one.
Yeah, again, it really just does come down to one mistake being made by G2 and HellRaisers got it. And with Overpass being such a great map for the CT side, there's so many different setups you can play. You can go for aggressive, you can go for passive, you can go for stacks. Rotations are really quick between sites. Retaking's okay on the B site, not so much on A. So yeah, realistically, HellRaisers have such a great potential coming into the second, this second half at least, because again, they can just switch up the setups. We saw on Inferno at least they had troubles with changing their setups over on CT, and they, G2 are reading them very well. But Overpass is one of those maps that is far harder to read your opposition on, especially when you're forced down to that T side, because HellRaisers can just switch stuff up so differently. And with these ecos as well, stacks are very, very common. And aggression like this, look at that, Zero opens things up. He gets himself the first kill after the death of his teammate, but an AK is grabbed. And we now have 2 on the side of HellRaisers, only 1 with armor, but still a doable round for them.
Definitely achievable. As they slip their way through. It's actually quite scary as well, because if they start to make a couple of mistakes here upon their approach towards the A bomb site, if they do get the drop on them, there is actually potential that HellRaisers could claw this back and lock it down. Obviously just going for these information faces right now, just toying with them. Dead Fox is going to bait out Kenny S. The rotate comes in as well. Angel running on the scene, the smokes come through, but look at Angel trying to take the fight. Scares him off, gliding through the air, actually gets tagged down to 15 HP. Follow-up frag does come in there in the end. Kenny S able to deal the damage with his secondary. MBK is close by though on the site. The natural born killer will strike as he takes down Zero. Dead Fox also going to hit the deck. And unfortunately, HellRaisers not able to do anything into that round. Not too much we expected from them though. We assumed that would just be one that was a bit of a throwaway. Cash as well starting to build once again. G2, double up setup still in play.
Slowly but surely, they will pull it back a little bit closer. HellRaisers still going to be on an eco here as a light investment comes in. A bit of a quasi on a couple of other players with a Deagle as well and play for Dead Fox. But other than that, not too much. G2 going to be well equipped to deal with this one. They double up, still continuing its supremacy. As HellRaisers look for a bit of an aggression play up towards the party. As we can see, a bit of a push and double long control as well. This is a nice setup so far from HellRaisers, but do they have the weaponry for it? Deagle's got to be getting long ranges, but nothing else really, as Kenny and MBK are going to isolate the first 2 players. It will be a refrag from Angel as he grabs himself a gun to play with alongside his armor. This could be lethal, but Zero's position is going to be perfect. Shox has no idea. He runs right past him. There's an orb dropped on the floor as well. Zero has something to play with, but he's not going to be able to pick it up. Instead, shoots it for some reason out of his grasp. As you can see, Kenny is just holding the back. There's nowhere for him to escape to until he gets taken down. And now G2 leading this one with a 3-on-2. Okay, Dead Fox grabs himself a gun. This is doable.
Definitely so much potential here off the back of Dead Fox going huge with that hand cannon. Upgrades to the AK-47 as well, but unfortunately Body has been able to tear his way through Angel. Dead Fox headshot galore though, rips his way through. Walls mean nothing to this man as he just dispatches everyone. Frag after frag, sublime stuff on display as he slowly makes his ascent towards the A-bomb site, tiptoeing up. Kenny S, AWP in play, trying to hold the angle. Dead Fox drops around, rattling off the pot shots, trying to connect with a spray control. So close yet so far. Kenny S will beat him down, but they have money now. They're also going to have a lot of confidence going into this. And although G2 have been picking up rounds and been getting bomb plants, they're still losing a lot of money as they've been losing so many men throughout these rounds. There is damage done to their economy, but not enough to really harm them into this one.
Yeah, if HellRaisers can actually, continue to lose, but actually get, 3-4 kills around, there's good potential that G2 will be, not able to pick up even an AWP, let alone a double. So that could be some potential for HellRaisers to exploit if they can get these exit frags, even if they do lose rounds. But I think they're more focused on actually winning the rounds than anything. As we can see, up towards Connector is going to be MBK looking for the opener. We have a double stack here. Angel, even if he goes down, there's a teammate to trade, and it will happen. Bondik takes the kill onto MBK. Nice 4-on-4 in play. It's going to favour the T's, yes, but HellRaisers haven't had a great CT half so far in the previous few. G2 have been dragging it back, so it's going to be good at least to see them actually have something doable. Less opposition to fight against the Zero. He's cornered over on the site. Players from 2 angles. Body gets the opener. They still haven't found Zero. How is he still alive as he forces himself down to Shox? Eventually will be dropped, but Bondik, his third kill of the round has come in. He's taken down Shox. He's removed one of the 2 orbs, and the bomb is dropped over towards B.
The Bondik factor as he just beats down everyone in front of him. He's looking good so far, but he still has to do so much more. His teammate will arrive on the scene to try and aid him, but he's up against Apex and Kenny. He has the bomb. Luckily, down in an awkward scenario, the T's will struggle to attempt to reclaim that. And look at the amount of utility they have as well. Flashbang goes into alarm to beat Kenny S, trying to turn away. Will be punished because of this. A flurry of bullets land into his spine, executing him. Apex tries to take the fight, though. The spray down comes through, gets the opening frag, but Dead Fox with a return beats his way through them. HellRaisers pick it up, and they are going to be able to close that one down. Wow, HellRaisers, dominant stuff there towards the end. Even those clutch scenarios just seem like they have more oomph, more firepower.
And that's what I said, right? Bondik stepping up with a 3K. All we need is one player to go big individually, and that's so common in Counter-Strike. If one player goes massive and just has a crazy round and gets all these kills, there we go, it falls apart, and you see a team take it over the edge. So that's why 15 X scorelines are so dangerous to play against, because it only takes one mistake or one sick play from the opposing team to carry them over the victory line, and that will happen. So 16-9 the HellRaisers. They take the series, well, 2-0 essentially in the 2 best of 1s they've played. So that's actually really, really good from the guys we didn't really expect to do very well. Very close to being relegated last season. G2 obviously at the bottom of the board, but we still expect them individually, having those players like Kenny S and Shox and Apex to step up. We expected them to take this one away, but no, HellRaisers do perform very well.
It's true. I know I'm definitely going to be picking up my HellRaisers jersey from the stop after that affair, because that was just dominant. They teared their way through. HellRaisers going to be feeling very happy about that. It was someone that bought the jersey beforehand. That's what we wanted to see. But we're going to be checking out these replays as well from the matchup. So you can see just really kind of what went down there is there were so many fantastic frags that allowed them to take that dominant performance. So many just individual moments of skill. And that's kind of what you needed. HellRaisers, they have that team play, but they also just need the moments of someone stepping up. And when that does happen, that's when they rip their way through. Dead Fox had a spectacular game as well, but everyone kind of performed well. I wouldn't say anyone had a particularly bad game over on the side of HellRaisers, but I don't know if the same can be said for G2. It wasn't a bad performance, it was just nothing too crazy, nothing really memorable.
No, I think Body did quite well, at least in terms of performance over on Inferno, but over on Overpass, yeah, I wouldn't say anyone really stepped up massively. The scoreline was kind of fairly centric around all the players doing okay, but no one really stepping up. Because typically you see losses, right? Especially, I mean, look at old Mouse Sports with Nico. You'd see losses, and there'd be one player that would always stomp, and despite them losing the game, he'd still be positive. And typically that was Nico from Mouse Sports as a random example. But going into this one, not really anyone on G2 stepping up there, kind of just falling short. But either way, HellRaisers, I mean, is this a new HellRaisers? Are they going to be performing very well in the future? Who knows? Obviously, G2 seem to be kind of maybe overhyped, I guess you could say, but this is still a great victory for this European team.
It's true, they are kind of the super team that is known as a super team just because of the players in there. And in terms of results, they haven't really posted anything that has been too great to really set them back into that limelight, especially throughout Season 5 of Pro League. They've been struggling, and this sets them even further down, which is really quite sad to see, as they needed to try and get some wins under their belt. As getting pushed down towards the very bottom of the scoreboard right now is not going to be great. Yeah,
that's the thing, right? We were expecting maybe G2 could show this new roster, show how good they could be maybe at the Pro League finals in Dallas, but right now, as you said earlier, we're halfway in through the league. They're at the very bottom of the standings. They are going to have to win pretty much every game if they want to make it out. Even if that's mathematically possible, I'm not too sure, but it's looking very unlikely regardless of its possibility.
It's also hard as well because with other teams now starting to step up throughout the league and get some results on their belt, it makes it even harder to actually climb that ladder, and they're really in an awkward spot that far down, as they did just get punished, and it was really awkward to watch there into that second map. Not what we expected. I mean, we saw a couple of moments where it was like, okay, yeah, there's potential they can work with. There is actually a little bit of breathing room. But most of the rounds, it was just sort of like, oh,
Yeah, as well, you mentioned it's very hard to get up to that top 6, right? So even if you look at teams that we expect to be in that top 6, teams like Na'Vi and FaZe, for example, alongside that, there are unexpected teams like Mousesports that are actually taking away a slot, not unfairly, but taking away a slot from teams that we expect to be big teams like G2. Well, I don't think it's more so Mouse taking away G2 spot, obviously, as the opposite sides of the league, but it's making it so much harder to get into that top 6 for G2 that I don't think it's even going to be possible here unless they have some incredible streak. But even so, not looking likely.
That's true. Well, guys, that is going to be the first series wrapped up. Coming up next, though, will be the team that made their climb through ESEA Premier, and they've started to cause a bit of a stir. Of course, it's LDLC up against FaZe, but you're going to have to wait, stick around to see how that one goes down, but do stick by. Go and grab yourself a water, guys. We'll be back with our second series soon.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Logitech G, PaySafeCard, Mountain Dew League, and ESEA.